what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today, I want to investigate how KWin or Plasma Desktop, KDE, I don't know, whatever the heck this desktop environment I'm using is called. I want to understand how their taskbar works, right? So like down, that's unlucky. That's actually crazy. I've never seen that happen before, and it happening right as I'm talking about it is so lucky. But anyways, so we're working on this Wayland window manager, right? And eventually, the goal would be to like eat some dog food, eat some kibble, and actually use this thing like for real. And there are lots of things that have to get done before that, but I feel like one of the things that like we really have to do in terms of like major features is we have to be able to like look at the list of windows and we have to be able to like launch applications, right? So we need some sort of status bar. And I'm looking at this status bar, and based off my current understanding of Wayland window managers, I don't really have any idea. Well, I should say I do have ideas, but they might be wrong. I don't know how this works at all. Right, so there's like lots of things to be curious about, right? One is like, just how are these like things shown in the taskbar? Where do the icons come from? How does it know what the list of open windows is? When I like hover these things, it's got like little previews in there. Where the fuck are those coming from? When I like hover over these things, the window manager is like highlighting them. How is that happening? Right? I kind of just want to go and look at KDE and see what they're doing, and maybe we'll do what they do, and maybe we won't, but we can use them as like a form of inspiration for how we'll make our thing, right? If maybe there's some like standards that we can like hook into that maybe there aren't, maybe we design our own thing, but until we see what somebody else does, we won't have like, we'll be making it up, and we can make it up, but I want to make it up with some knowledge, Slight spoiler, the previews are generated through the Pipewire screen capture protocol. No spoilers! No spoilers allowed! La 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 la. But that's crazy. That's crazy. That's not how I would do it. So yeah, what I want to do is, I guess, the first thing is like, what is this? I don't even know, like, I don't even know what I'm looking at here. Right? It's like, there's some sort of like panel down here, and I know that like, you can like, add widgets to this thing, and one of the widgets is like the taskbar. How do I get out of this? Hello? So I don't even know if like the widget is the guy responsible for asking the questions or the taskbar is, and I don't know what the taskbar is called, but I do know that the desktop environment is called Plasma. So maybe we can get a clue if we just do this. Oopsies. Like, is there like some sort of like plasma bar, plasma taskbar, shell, maybe? Yeah, I actually don't even know how to start. Maybe we look up what is the plasma, what process is the, what executable runs the plasma taskbar? K-bar? Oh, yeah. Good guess. K, like, we want some, fuck. Something that starts with a K is not, like, crazy. They do love K blank. Taskbar is managed by Plasma Shell. Plasma Shell, KDE. Space K, that is a better grep, I agree. But actually, surprisingly, not that many. Okay, is there like a repo for this thing somewhere? Maybe. Plasma Shell GitLab? Maybe? I think that they work on GitLab. Plasma Desktop. Is this the thing? Or is... Yeah... Let's just start here and see if we find something. Let's just start here and see if we find anything. Oopsies. I said copy. Sir? Copy? Paste. There we go. Plasma's hells. Thank you. I was going to just kill Plasma Shell and see what happened, but I think I don't want to do that because it might just like crash the stream. There's like a non-zero chance of that. But maybe we can. Is there like a plasma shell in here? Uh, this is called by plasma shell, plasma shell, plasma shell. Maybe. And then can we look for like? Okay, let's look for if I'm in here and I go like right click on this. Icons only task manager is another clue. Icons only. Wait, was that icons only task manager? Here we go. So there's this guy in applets. Applets icon tasks. Let's start there. So we seem to be in the right spot, and there's literally nothing of value in here. Got it. Got it. Yeah. Why would there be? Of course. I didn't think there would be anything here. Fuck me, I guess. Plasma provides. This is maybe interesting. And then there's also this. Okay, okay. Wait. Here's some plasma applet org KDE plasma task manager. In whatever the fuck this is. I don't know if is PO like language like translation shit. I think it is, right? So it's probably not that. I guess we also don't know. Wait, is there like even programs in here? Like what is this repo? We got like shouldn't icon tasks have some code in here? Maybe there's submodules? No? Dude, what the fuck? Icons only. Dude, how confusing. Okay, what there was also plasma multitasking. There's window list in here as well. But like, where is like the code for these things? It's probably all JavaScript and or QML, sure, but like where? And then that stuff has to like eventually turn into something else. I wonder if it's like not in this repo. I mean, here they have like a commit for window list add feature to open on hover. Wait, so maybe that's a clue? What are they fucking changing here? Applets window list some QML thing? Okay, so for some reason icon tasks has no code, but window list does. What in the fuck? But okay. But I guess window list will give us some equally useful clues. So I'm just going to ignore that problem for a minute and look at this instead. So in here somewhere, okay, first of all, what is the window list? Can we add that here? Window list. Where did I add it? I actually don't know. Yes, it's behind my monitor. Okay. So that is, it's like kind of like, can I move it? Can I like move it somewhere where you guys can see? Yeah, I can. All right, here we go. So like this thing is window list. So it looks like they're gonna have some sort of like on click somewhere. Window list button here. Probably when you click it, it does tasks menu open. Okay, so this is the tasks menu here. And this is a Plasma Extras model context menu, whatever the fuck that means. And this is like tasks model. Request activate. Is this a thing that that's this thing? Task manager tasks model is where this comes from, it looks like. Which is probably, I assume, a like C++ kind of thing somewhere. I would assume. So it's probably somewhere someone's registering like tasks model as a struct. No. Task model. I don't really remember how QML gets this stuff hooked up, but this looks like it might be relevant. Task manager window tasks model. So maybe this is in like task manager.h. Hmm. Switcher backend. It doesn't necessarily. I'm not really convinced that this lives in this repo, to be honest. Like that task manager thing might be something that is imported as part of, like, into this project from somewhere else, which is probably going to be the interesting part. There's Wayland task model. Did I miss that? Wayland tasks model. Yeah. So nice. Good eye. So task manager must come from somewhere else, huh? And it's hard to know. It might be like a generated file, or it could come from another repo. So can we maybe look for, what do they import? Plasma. Jesus Christ. Okay. Can we look through this? Task manager. It's okay. Here, it's probably not forward declared anymore. Wayland tasks model. Wait, here we go. Wayland tasks model. .h. So we need to find this file. We need to find this file somewhere. Plasma workspace. Workspace. Okay, wait. Promising. I'm not going to click your link intentionally because I want to tackle it from this side, and I think that I don't want to like shortcut. I think that like how we get to the answer is an important part of what is being, like, what the product of this stream is. So I'm okay with kind of sidestepping that this time because I'm more trying to like go through the process than necessarily find the exact answer. Completely reasonable. Yeah, thank you. I would say that I'm pretty reasonable. That's what I think. In my head, my decisions are rational. But what is this thing? Plasma workspace? So we're looking for Wayland task model.cpp. Huge. So here they have task manager and they have a plasma window. And this is inheriting from a Wayland interface org KDE plasma window. So probably if we look at like the Wayland spec thing in here, are we gonna find something that resembles this? Like if we search for like KDE in here? Yeah. Oh, here we go. Plasma window management. Is it this one? Org. Title changed. Is that in here? Title changed. Yeah, it looks like this is it, huh? So in here, it's gonna be like this model. Wait, this is not the model that we were looking at originally, though, right? I forget already. It was like tasks model window list. Where the fuck was this thing? It was in applets window list. He had a model of this thing that was task manager tasks model. So tasks model. Here we go. So that's what this guy is. We don't know how this ties to the Wayland thing yet, but we could maybe search for this in like Wayland in here. Nope. like the Wayland tasks model, does he inherit from someone? Abstract window tasks model. I see. So this like this guy, abstract window, maybe we look for users of that. Abstract window tasks model. Who's using this guy? Interesting. Maybe this guy inherits from something? Whoa, what the fuck? Abstract window tasks model. Does he inherit from something? Abstract tasks model. Which is used in tasks model. Nice. Nice. Okay, so the tasks model is attached to some abstract tasks model that emits some like events when what's it called? When the Wayland interface notices some stuff, would be my guess. We're kind of like really piecing it together, but it looks like, if I were to guess, that this thing is communicating like entirely over Wayland to the through this interface. Okay, so this is kind of answered by org KDE plasma window Wayland interface. Wayland interface. I want to tell you that Plasma use internal protocols for task management since it was made before upstream Wayland protocols were made. Makes sense. I also reworked the budget task list for Wayland if there are any questions. Appreciate it. I probably won't be asking those because I think it's fun to like go through the process, but cool. It's neat that you're here. Okay. So I assume in here, this guy is going to have like functions for if I click a window, right? So in here, if I like go into this and I click Spotify, I assume that opens a window, right? So I assume in here, there's going to be like a request to set foreground or something, maybe, right? So we have windows, I guess set state, maybe. We can, yeah, so in here, he's going to request probably that this thing gets activated, or, you know, there's something in this bitmask that probably means foreground. And if that's not the case, it's at least like not, it's not unreasonable that we would do it that way if we wanted to. So that solves that. Now, I think image previews are really still not clear, right? Because this task list is only showing like the icons. Oh, which maybe we do want to understand. I guess the icons are coming from, they're coming from Kwin? Really? Is Kwin managing the fucking icon path to this thing? Also, this event doesn't send the icon, right? He's just telling us it changed, right? So like, where the fuck is that coming from? Icon name changed? So I guess he has the name of the icon and each program is probably resolving those independently. I think there's like some like XDG icon spec or something. If you want slight spoilers, just say thank you. Yeah, I'll take a spoiler on this one. I assume what's happening is that every application is asking for, like, is getting the name of the icon, which may or may not change. I'm not quite sure why you would have this icon changed event and the icon name changed event. Maybe icon changes if you're like watching the file path and you're telling it to reload. I would assume that everybody independently has like some way they're like resolving XDG icons themselves. It looks at the app ID and looks for a desktop file that matches the app ID to get the icon from there. What the fuck? Then what is the fuck? What the fuck? But then why? What is the icon thing for? Themed icon name change. I'm gonna look for that in Kwin because I want to understand. Themed icon name changed. set themed icon name. This is on. What the fuck? So is this a thing that can be called from externally? Set themed icon name. Here, set icon. Oh. If you have like internal windows, maybe? I don't know, but they also have like them on X11 windows. They have it on Wayland windows? Wait, why is there an X11 window abstraction in K1 at all? Does whoa 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 whoa. I thought that X11 windows were like fully gone. Oh, I guess K1 can be an X11 compositor or a Wayland compositor. I forgot. So that's probably what they're talking about here. Okay, so maybe this like set icon thing. Oh, so maybe not everything is Wayland. Right. So Kwin might be an X11 window manager. It might be a Wayland window manager. And so in those cases, it behaves differently. And so maybe these, I guess if we're using the Wayland interface though, we know that we're a Wayland compositor. So all of these vets are relevant to Kwin. It does seem like some of these might be like not applications, right? Like without, if I were to guess, if I'm just like looking at this path, it could be that like something like the zoom window is like not an external application, but something that Kwin is rendering itself and it needs an icon in the taskbar for that or something. That's all possible. Okay, so I like the names are pretty obvious, I think. Right? So the title, I would assume here if we search for like title changed. Title changed. I assume what's happening here is that like this is getting called direct, almost like piped directly from when they get a client title change, right? So I actually haven't looked at where they hook all that stuff up, but I think that's in like the XDG shell spec. There's like a set title call. Yeah. Yeah, so here in like XDG shell, somebody calls set title. And that must get piped somewhere. They emit like window title changed. And then somebody is going to like handle window title change. Who's gonna call set caption somewhere, you know, and then he emits caption change. Then probably like maybe that makes it to whoever is calling like, you know, set title here. Yeah, here. And then this set title, I think, was the thing that was going into Plasma. Yeah, set title here, set title goes in, and he emits the whatever org KDE set title thing, and then that's how it gets over here. Okay, nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. So this is like icon is the same. But image previews is completely unknown. So let's kind of look at that. Let's look at that. So we need to get back. I think at this point, we need to get to, we need to figure out why the fuck that icon's only task manager is like has no code, right? Right? Like something's wrong here. I don't know what. Hold on. Someone's at my door. One sec. One sec. Dude, sometimes people like deliver packages, and I guess that guy just buzzed literally every button in the apartment building because he the number, the apartment number that he got is a very different one from mine. It's not like next to the thing on the he just like did the like somebody please fucking let me in, please 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 please. Okay, so why the fuck, like, is there no code for this? Right? Like, that's weird. Um, can we maybe Google icons only task manager KDE? Source code. um, so there was a link in here. This is just another repo. No, it's not. Whoa, hold on. What the fuck? Oh, there's a task manager. Is that different? Hold on. Configure? Configure? Okay, first of all, I don't want this. How do I add a thing? Add or manage widgets? Task manager? Yeah, it looks like in terms of task manager, there's only icons and text task manager and icons only task manager. It might be the same thing. So there was icons only, icons and text task manager, which is in Applet's task manager. And I wonder if it's like icon task is like is a reference to that same thing, right? He's got like, yeah, right? Because he's saying like my Plasma root path is org KDE Plasma Task Manager, which is probably the same as this one. Would be my guess. Multitasking. Interesting. Task manager. Yeah, this is his ID here. Right? So it looks like they're like the same thing, just configured slightly differently. I guess. Maybe like by name or something. So it's probably in here where the preview thing exists. That would be my guess. That would be my guess. So QML? Like we're looking for some sort of like hover, maybe? Task QML is hovered. Okay. KSVG frame SVG item. So that sounds interesting, right? That's probably like something like the frame that's showing down here or something. On active change, icon grab to image? Maybe. Okay, let's look for what else would be in here. So there's task.qml, tooltip instance.qml also sounds interesting. Tooltip I think is usually like text that shows when you hover something, so I think it's not that. Maybe we look for like preview as well, right? Maybe something like this. Oh, I think actually there is a config that you can change. Oopsies, fuck, sorry. I think there's a way to show small window previews when hovering over tasks. Okay, that's the fucking entry point. Show small window previews. So this is show tooltips. Show tooltips. So somebody's gonna be like looking for that somewhere, right? So here is like main item is show tooltips or is window pinned app tooltip delegate open window tooltip show tooltips. That doesn't really feel like what I'm looking for, but that look maybe it is. Tooltip delegate sounds interesting. So estimated height is like depends on if show tooltips type shit. And then he's delegating to some sort of tooltip instance. Okay, tooltip instance is one of these. Display? Tooltip delegate. We're looking for something that has like that ID probably. Display. Display is a string, which seems interesting. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. Okay, so if I hold on, where was that? Like configure icons with text manager. So if I untick this, we still get something hovered, but it's just different, right? It's like we get like names instead. So I think that thing is the entry point. Show. Wait, what was it? It was show small window previews. Yeah, show tool tips. Hmm. Not sure. I mean, it has to be in one of these three places, right? Like, oh, here we go. This lines up with what the guess or the spoiler from Iliante that it has to do with Pipewire, which is interesting. Has thumbnail. Here we go. Pipewire thumbnail. Here we go. This is probably the piece. Oh my god. Wow, that is crazy. That's fucking crazy. So they are asking for a fucking video stream of the window? That's crazy. Wow. Okay, so the alias has thumbnail to ready. This must get set. This gets set by the C++ that manages this. I wouldn't do it that way. Me neither. But maybe let's like not get ahead of ourselves. Maybe Pipewire is reasonable. Maybe it's an efficient way to stream video. Maybe. If this just does all the negotiation for like GPU file descriptor transfer, maybe it's fine. It just seems so unlikely. Okay, so I assume here their org KDE Pipewire is the piece that we want to look at. And then we probably want to look at like how KWin integrates with that, probably. K Pipewire, is this the guy? He might be. He might be, huh? So this guy has like a fucking QML thing. What was the thing? It was org KDE Pipewire, right? I believe. Okay. So he's declaring some module here, I think. And he's kind of attaching him to K Pipewire or something. There was something that had like a ready flag, right? We saw it was like he was asking for pipewire.ready. So we're probably looking for like, I think it's Q property ready. Pipewire source item? Was that the thing? I can't remember. Pipewire source item. Keep that in our heads. Pipewire source item, pipewire source item. Pipewire source item, pipewire source item. Wait, where is all the QML? Or KDE K. Was it somewhere else? I feel like it was in Applet's Task Manager. I feel like that's where we were, but now I don't remember. Because we were looking for show. Oh my god, I've forgotten everything. Nope, wrong button. Show small window previews. Show small. Yeah, this was in here. Pipewire thumbnail. Here it was. So he was looking at pipewire source item. Pipewire source item, pipewire source item. I think that's the thing we were looking at. Yeah. Okay, so pipewire source item. What the fuck is going on here? I guess we haven't looked at how this thing gets like requested, right? Like we just know that that's a thing that exists in there, but we don't really know how they ask for it, you know? We didn't check that. So they have pipewire thumbnail. So somewhere they're probably like making these things. Yep. So sometimes they have pipewire loader, and when they hover that thing, they must be asking for this. Hover handler active pipewire loader. Yeah, I see. So there's like a thumbnail container that they set to visible, and then they probably like propagate the visible field. So visible is true on the thumbnail loader if active, and active is all of this shit. But then here, pipewire loader has thumbnail is like already initialized. So I wonder if they're just always, are they always fucking streaming every fucking window all the time? There's no way, right? There's no way. They must have to like ask the loader for a new frame sometimes. They have to, right? They have to. They have to, because there's no way it's just streaming all the fucking time. I mean, this looks suspicious, right? Like they're setting like the anchors of this thing based off of hover state or something. Right? There's a lot of like we're making a lot of guesses here. But maybe not. Maybe this is just positioning. They're like, hey, fill up the hover handler as much as we can and give us some margins. Oh, it's this active flag, right? This is probably it. So they're checking if our index is the right thing. That makes more sense. And album art image. Yeah, okay. Gotcha. So it's this active flag on pipewire loader. So pipewire thumbnail has an active flag that's coming from pipewire source item. I think that these properties get like propagated. Properties get propagated. So we're looking for something that resembles active on some plasma source item, right? Sorry, pipewire source item. So we're looking for maybe in here active property active. Maybe not. I mean, they do have like visibility changes here. Okay. I forgot already also where the thumbnail comes from. It's too much. There's too much happening. Too much happening. I already forgot. Pipewire source item. And he's looking for ready. Has thumbnail is ready. Has thumbnail is ready. So we're looking for when ready is set on this guy in the other repo. ready. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So they set ready, you know, in all sorts of cases. Update texture from DMA buff. Okay, wait, this is interesting. So maybe this is just like ripping file descriptors over a socket. That's like very possible. Right, so here they're getting like pipewire frames coming in, and they might be DMA buff frames, they might be data frames. So here they're attaching this to like frame received from some stream. Okay. Handle frame. Where is this coming from? Oh, if only AI wasn't shit, it could be perfect for this type of thing. I think it actually is okay at it. I mean, it's really stupid a lot of the time as well. But if you ask like ChatGPT like about well-known code bases, it's like sometimes not that stupid. Okay, so what's happening here is they are creating like a pipewire stream, and it looks like this is probably the boundary into some external library, right? It looks like this is like a Qt KDE wrapper around pipewire, and so I would bet pipewire is like its own library. Cool web page, man. What the fuck are we doing? Sorry, I should let them have fun. Okay, so they aim to greatly improve handling of audio and video under Linux. It provides a low latency, graph-based processing engine on top of audio and video devices that can be used to support the use cases currently handled by these things. This is all audio, but it looks like it does video as well. It's designed with a powerful security model. Wow, that makes for interacting with audio and video devices from containerized applications easy with support for Flatpak being the primary goal. Alongside Wayland and Flatpak, we expect Pipewire to provide a core building block for the future of Linux application development. Wow. I will I will never write anything that people use, and I will never write anything like this. I don't think it's like wrong to write this. It's like an ambitious goal and somebody needs to do it. But like part of me is like, do you have to be up your own ass to write this? I mean, I guess I shouldn't be mean. It's like it's there it's a good tool probably. It's just funny. I can't imagine writing this. It's just so not the way I like view the world. But if you're trying to get adoption of something, then you have to give your pitch. So I guess this is just a good pitch. Okay, so they're like, we do audio and video, minimal latency, real time, yep, multi-process, support everyone, support sandboxes, great. Okay, so presumably there's like a pipewire daemon or like a pipewire server that is hooked, there's like in Kwin. And somehow this like window preview is asking for that, right? We didn't really figure out. We have pipewire source stream, but it doesn't have like a location, which is kind of interesting, right? Like I would think that this interface needs a like constructor that has a URL or something. You know what I mean? Like it's got to go like the stream has to be coming from somewhere. You need to bus to talk to Pipewire? That would make sense. I would believe that. But like in this code base, who the fuck is making these? Pipewire source stream. Like, you know what I mean? Produce. Like, oh, this is an encoder. So produce is produce, consume is consume, if you think about it. Is there like the inverse of this? Yeah, I'm missing something. Bum, 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 bum. So there's the producer, which I think is not us. Then there's Pipewire source item. This is maybe where the actual hookup happens. Like, no? I'm so confused. On pro. Where is this coming from? Reset FD. Reset FD. Who calls this? Someone calls this. Oh! Oh, I see. So maybe I see. So we are connected to a file descriptor. So this guy is like, yo, I'm like a stream. And when you initialize him, he's not like fucking talking to anybody. Then someone externally negotiates a file descriptor where the Pipewire data will come over and calls it here. Right? So it's like here somebody writes to the file descriptor fields of this guy. And so someone has to negotiate that somehow. Is there like a Pipewire overview? I don't think we need to really read the Pipewire code base yet. Blah, 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 blah. Pipewire clients can be any process. They speak to the Pipewire server through a Unix domain socket using the Pipewire native protocol. So maybe not dbus. It might be its own socket. Current state of Pipewire server and its capabilities and the Pipewire graph are exposed towards clients, including introspection tools like bwdump. Let's fucking type that. Wow, sick. This looks like a big ass JSON blobby, and he tells us, I assume someone in here is like, yo, I have fucking frames of Windows. Like, you can stream Windows if you want. Window. Maybe like video as well. Yeah, so there's like 640 by 480 Windows something. Application ID, lib Canberra. Well, there's like a lot of shit in here, huh? I see. Oh, there's my webcam. Okay. I want to see like Windows though. Maybe we look at KWin. And we just grep for Pipewire in here. Screencasting, test. Lots of translations, more translations. Screencasting test. The fuck? And then just like look for Pipewire. It's a plugin. I saw plugin screencast in here. So the ability to send stuff comes from a plugin, I guess. Let's go look at that. Source plugins screencast. I see. Interesting. And then I saw something Windows screencast source. Interesting. So he renders each window into these GL frame buffers. And then presumably this guy then can get sent as a like OpenGL DMA buffer to the Pipewire sync, probably. Right, so we're probably looking at like Windows Screencast Source is probably like a implementation of Screencast Source. And then somebody probably can like ask for, you know, screencast stream or something. And then sometime where does that source get hooked up? Here, source. So the source comes in, somebody constructs a screencast stream with the source that they want. So there's probably screencast manager sounds interesting. And in here, Wayland stream, here we go. Maybe. So somebody's probably asking for stream window, yep. Window screencast requested. Which is coming from screencast v1 interface. What the fuck is that? Is this a Wayland thing or like a hello? This is like pulled from somewhere. It would be nice if this was compiled so that we could like jump to definition. I wonder if how hard it is to compile this right now. Like, how hard could it be? How hard could it be? Use C tags. I think it's like not. I want something like accurate. No offense to C tags. What's the Nix shell? There's a way for us to import all the imports that we need to build K1. I just can't remember what it is. I can't remember inputs from. Import from packages. What is it? KDE packages Kwin. And then we also want Clang tools so that we can use Clang D. Shots fired. Yeah, I mean, I think like for what it is, C tags is good. It's just what it is not right. What the fuck? Okay, so does this guy not need CMake? Hello? No, how does he build? Is there like other... Is he using QMake? No, it has to be CMake, right? So why the fuck make KDE derivation? Jesus Christ, my dude. What the fuck? Make KDE derivation. What are we doing? Whatever. Well, that means that this isn't gonna work the way I wanted to, huh? Seems unlikely now. If I have to fucking manually specify CMake, like what other shit am I gonna have to manually specify? There's gotta be some like... gross. Yeah, they have some sort of like bullshit KDE thing that I'm supposed to be inheriting from or something. Oh, okay. I'm just not gonna do it. I don't want to deal with this shit. We've learned our lesson in the past. Okay, so where were we? We were in source, plugins, screencast. And we were looking for screencast v1 interface. Literally impossible was right. Yeah. Okay, so there's screencast v1 in Wayland. Interesting. Okay, so there's kind of like this guy who maybe we can find in here. Z KDE screencast unstable? Yeah, it looks like. Interesting. So Pipewire is not defining necessarily the interface on how to connect, or this is like a different interface, right? But okay, so they have a Wayland interface that they can request stream window, right? Was one of the things that they could ask for. And then this guy must emit a thing, right? Yeah, so he's going to create one of these screencast streams, and then he's going to emit a created. And then this is a node of the Pipewire buffer. So there's probably some sort of like large scale Pipewire. Like there's some like Pipewire file descriptor somewhere, and then we ask Kwin to start streaming through Pipewire, and then he tells us where in Pipewire to get our shit from, and we go talk to Pipewire with this node ID, would be my guess. That would be my guess. Which is funny. So it's kind of like it's out of band, like Wayland request for Pipewire buffer or Pipewire stream. Somewhere else, Pipewire like returns Pipewire node, and then we want to look for that guy in the other end, right? Right, so this guy's going to emit created, and then whoever asked for it, which would have been the icons only task manager or K Pipewire, I guess here, we're looking for like created in here. Screencasting. There was like a Wayland thing in here, right? I forget. DMA buff handler, Q, Wayland, screencasting, CPP. Oh, yeah. So here, oh, this is on test though. Fuck. But can we look for this? Interesting. So maybe it's constructed by the applet thing. Where was that again? It was in Plasma Desktop Applets Task Manager? There was Pipewire Thumbnail. No, surely this guy isn't doing anything but going into the Pipewire source item. But here, nobody's calling like the stream manager anywhere. Where is this thumbnail getting hooked up from? What the fuck? So the tooltip instance is creating this Pipewire thumbnail thing. Right? But like, how is he, oh, source component, maybe? Like, how is he? Oh, I mean, this seems relevant. Task manager, where the fuck is that? Task manager plugin in lib task manager in Plasma workspace. Jeez Louise. All right. Lib task manager. Screencasting in here. Ah, okay. I see. So this guy is related in some way. So lib task manager has in CPP land handlers for when this guy is created. He has like he emits created back to the QML space or whatever. Okay, I think the picture is here. We don't have like the exact lines of code for this, but we do have like I think reasonable proof that they are requesting Pipewire streams through Wayland. They're getting Pipewire nodes, and I want to see actually who connects to this guy, because I think we still don't know like who is like how the pipewire data is getting sent around, right? We know that he has like a node ID, but we don't know how the actual data transfer starts. Node ID change. Dude, I fucking hate the like rat's nest of code that Qt apps end up being. Like it's all like it's so hard to trace any code path, right? It's like here someone's emitting a created, then they're changing the node ID, then they're emitting node ID changed. And it's like then this guy is like, you know, this is only exposed as a node ID here, right? So it's like somewhere in QML, they're like looking for the node ID and then passing that somewhere else, right? Like this is going back. We're like going back probably into the fucking application thing, and we're looking for node ID in here probably. Fucking yep, right? And then here, this node ID like is going back through Wayland item and through the screencasting request over here. So now we have to go back to the other fucking repo. It was like screencasting requests, right, in here. And then when they get the node ID set, wait, is this the same thing? Is this where we just were? This is where we just fucking were. Fuck. So it's the other way. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Applets, task manager. Okay, so how does this get connected? There's like this node ID here. Is this used anywhere else? No. Oh, no, sorry. So this is the screencasting request gets attached to pipewire source item, right? Because this screencasting request is in lib task manager, pipewire is in lib pipewire. These two things are hooked together. In QML, these signals and slots automatically call each other. So now we have to go back to K pipewire. K pipewire is the guy, and we're looking for node ID in here. Set node ID. Probably as a property, right? In screencasting requests. So in here, they're calling like set node ID fucking over here. Nope. Screencasting request.h. Nope. What the fuck? I can't fucking remember what it was called. I'm gonna lose my shit, dude. I'm gonna lose my shit because there's too many things to remember. So it's a pipewire source item. Pipewire source item. Pipewire source item. Pipewire source item. Probably has a node ID here who calls node ID change on pipewire source item in here somewhere. No, it's set node ID. Right, who calls like refresh over here. And is this where they fucking finally do the work? It's fucking through some sort of like inheritance bullshit. Oh. Whoa. I'm sorry, is it not defined anywhere? Hello? Is this only a slot or something? What the fuck is going on? Oh, this is a Qt quick thing. Okay, fine. So it's not this. Is it this somehow? Node ID changed? Is that connected to somewhere? Is this part of some like hierarchy? No. Oh my fucking god. Oh wait, refresh is here. I'm just fucking dumb. Here, so they create the stream here with private M stream, which is a pipewire source stream. Is that defined here? Pipewire source, wait. Oh, this is pipewire source item, which is different than pipewire source stream. My bad. Of course it's different. And then this guy called, what was it? I already forgot. I don't know. It's like in here somewhere. Here we go. This looks like the fucking pipewire callbacks. Fuck. What do they call with the node ID? Create stream. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, and then he also has a file descriptor there already. Which might be 0. If the file descriptor is 0, then they probably get their own one or something. And then it looks like they kind of do just pipewire core fetch. static. So there must be some sort of like pipewire file descriptor that's sitting somewhere. It has to be. It has to be. And then they call it with Plasma Screencast ID. Which means that maybe if we do like screencast in here, we do see KWin screencast DP1, which is not what we want, but I wonder if you like start hovering this, like if we do like sleep 1 and PW dump less, and then quickly hover. Oh, we were too slow. Sleep 2. Enter hover. Quick, 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 quick. Okay, now do we see? Was it screencast? Yeah, look at that shit. Let's fucking go, baby. Let's fucking go. So here we see a bunch of screencasts for each of the thumbnails. And those are just exposed. And probably you might need to like authenticate to get to them. But okay. So I think that makes sense. I think that all makes sense. So it's the window manager implements Pipewire. To get the thumbnails, we go, yo, buddy, could you please set up some Pipewire nodes to stream video for all of the windows that are associated with Firefox? Then he goes, yep, here we go, bing, bang, boom. Here's all the node IDs. Then he calls into like lib Pipewire, which does whatever, like however they communicate with Pipewire and gets the shit. And then hopefully they do like efficient DMA buff transfers. Probably. Okay, cool. Cool, so that answers that question. The next one I want to answer, oh no, we're effing, yeah. Oh, oof. Dropping frames like crazy. Maybe we're back? Maybe we're back? It looks like maybe? The drop frames number is not increasing that much. Are we alive? Small F, but it's fine now? Hell yeah. Nope, no, oh. I can hear it's just your video, maybe camera stuttering. Yeah, I mean, I think that's just what happens when the frames start dropping. It is going up again. Okay, I'm gonna give it like 1.5 minutes, and if it doesn't fix, get mad and hit my and shut off my computer or something. Angry face. This is what you get for insulting the perfect quality code quality of KDE. Yeah. It looks like we're back though. I think it's like green now, so I think we're good. Okay. Audio is perfect. Yeah, and I think the video is back as well. So I think we're chilling. Okay. So, what I want to know is, what are they doing to glue this guy to the corner? Right? Like, you can just do coding ASMR, perfect. Like, usually you make a window and it's got like window borders and shit, and it's movable and shit. Like, presumably KWin is like banning that somehow, right? So this like this guy must be asking for special window roles or something like that. And I assume, based off what we've seen from the other stuff, that this is like a KDE Wayland extension, would be my guess, but we don't know yet. So probably, what do we think? It's in Plasma Desktop, maybe? And in here, do they have, it was like Plasma Shell was the name of the thing running, right? Right, we kind of have something here. Yeah, how do we even like start to like understand this? How do we even start to find the right answer? Maybe we look for the word panel? And just kind of scroll around and see what we see? Blah, blah, blah. What's here? Containments panel? Maybe sounds interesting. Maybe. And then is there some sort of like, is there like C++ code associated with this? Not particularly. Okay. But like maybe he like talks to some sort of imported thing. Plasma Core, Q Quick Control add-ons, KSVG, Plasmoid as well. What's like Plasma Core doing? Okay. Not looking too promising. Uh, I don't know what I want to look up. I'm honestly tempted, based off what we've seen before, to kind of start from like the Wayland protocol section, right? Like, what if there's like a KDE, like, screen edge sounds promising, right? Plasma Shell also sounds interesting. Taskbar, panel, okay, so can we look for org KDE plasma surface set role? Aha, assign a role to a shell surface. The compositor handles surfaces depending on the role. See explanation below. The request fails if the surface already has a role. So right, usually the role for Windows is like the top level XDG shell role, and so I guess they have kind of overridden these with like extra roles, right? So they have panel role. Perfect. Dude, it's so sick that you can kind of guess. Like, now that we have like just a little bit more context because of the other two things that we found, like, now this is obvious, right? So I think that if we look for panel role in KWin, we'll probably see like special handling behavior, right? If we just look for org KDE plasma surface set role, right? This guy's gonna say, yo, I'm a panel. If only there was a way to ask the compositor to draw the preview for you. Thumbnails? Yeah, I think that makes sense. Wait, does Wayland have custom functions for KDE? Doesn't it have same for GNOME, etc.? Sounds to me like user space functions shouldn't be in Wayland. So it's like the Wayland spec doesn't define enough stuff to get all the desktop features that these guys want, and so they extend the Wayland with their own APIs. And so then GNOME and KDE just wrote different ones. Sometimes people might agree and create like a common standard, but maybe that's not necessarily required. Yeah, so probably. Oh, interesting. They also have like tooltip roles and stuff too. Wait, does that mean that tooltips are rendered completely differently in KDE and GNOME? Like something like a tooltip is. Oh no, because there's tooltips in XDG. Oh wait, they also have doc in XDG shell? Hold on. So maybe this is old. Does XDG shell have roles for all of this stuff? Because if it doesn't, we just use those. Where are the role list? Wait, what the fuck? Where the fuck was that? XDG shell window has window type. How does this like doc type get set? Oh, they're converting from the plasma interface. Ah, I see. So they're kind of saying like this thing is like a lot like a top level, but we've got some like overrides here that aren't part of the Wayland spec. Right? If we look for like doc in here, it doesn't exist. I see. There's pop-up and XDG shell for tooltips. Yeah, I see. I see. Interesting. Okay. So this guy asks to be a doc. Does the doc kind of have like special rules about like positioning and stuff? How do we check that? Somewhere like we want to see like where KDE like draws like window borders and stuff and like handles resize. So there's gonna be some sort of like input. inputs where he, like, when I hover over something and he looks for resize, like, and changes the cursor to like the little like resize cursor, like that's gonna be somewhere through some input path. We could maybe look for the word resize, and someone in here might be looking for if a window is allowed to be resized or something, would be my guess. And that's going to be checking if it's a dock or a resizable window type shit. You know what I mean? Um, Start resize maybe? Resize start? What about like when I lib input backend? What does this guy do? He must like emit some things sometimes. Lib input, events read, process events. In some sort of connection? Uh-huh. Okay, so we're looking for some sort of pointer motion here. Who's like calling this guy? Pointer motion somewhere? Uh There's also hide cursor. What is, maybe we can look for the name of the like resize cursor. Like there's cursor themes somewhere. Linux resize. Like somewhere the name resize is going to come from somewhere. You know what I mean? Like if I go into like, if I like search my settings for cursor, this is like a thing that exists in here, right? So like what is this? This looks, I think, given that there's Breeze and Adwaita, then I would assume here that these are some sort of like XGG specification thing. This is not really what I'm looking for. X cursors, gnome look, DeviantArt, open desktop. Can we just like look at someone's theme and see where that goes? Like these things probably just have like files somewhere, right? Yeah, there's like row resize here. Row, what was it called? Row resize. Yeah, nice, dude. Okay, so there's like this cursor.cpp thing who has a list of alternatives. I would assume here that like there's an enum somewhere that defines the indexes that it wants to use for these, and then probably somewhere he's going to set the alternative somewhere. Like who's calling this shit? Cursor.cpp. So he's getting the names here. This is only an X11. Cursor source, maybe? And somewhere in here, he's select sprite sounds promising. Index. So in here, someone's gonna call this based off of M current sprite. Oh, interesting. This is like many sprites for the same guy. Oh, interesting. So this is like if you have like a loading screen or something, then you have like 10 sprites for the same role or something. So probably back here, wherever the fuck we saw the names of these guys. Like, for some of these guys, there might be I'm not sure. Not sure. But like there could be like many guys with the same name or something, but unclear. Here you can ask for the cursor to be a certain way based off of something. So it could be that it could be that that the cursor state here when I hover the edge of this thing are not necessarily managed by Kwin, but it might be managed by the application, which we can test if we use our shitty Wayland client. We know that we don't fucking do that. So here, we know that because I never asked for a cursor change, but the resize icon is there, that Kwin does do it sometimes, right? We do know that. Oh, okay, wait. This is useful. So we have name lookup by Kwin size northwest. So, ooh, okay, so on window, if we update the cursor, if we have top left gravity, wait, this is really promising. So here we probably like set the gravity if we're allowed to. Perform mouse press command, gravity. Okay. So I assume on here someone is going to ask if that's allowed somewhere, right? I don't have like a good answer for that yet. Switch decoration section under mouse. Does this somehow like get restricted by doc type? Because like if I try to like do a window key right click on this window, I get a resize, and it doesn't on this, right? So I think I just saw somewhere start interactive move resize. I would assume that this, whoever calls this is checking some sort of constraints, right? So where's this? This is like perform mouse press command. Okay. On this window. And so he's switching on command, who's coming from this. Perform mouse press command. Coming from input? Seems promising. Also from XDG shell window, also seems promising. But these are not the one. So we're looking for maybe like mouse resize, right? Or something like this. Perform window operation. So if they're like asking for a resize, we do a resize. Okay. Maybe this is relevant, maybe not. Decorated window? Oh, okay. So maybe on undecorated windows, this can't happen. Right? That could be the case. So there's decorated windows and undecorated windows, probably. So this must inherit from something. Where is this? This is in source decorations. Doesn't sound promising. Doesn't sound promising. I would be interested in like searching for like doc in like a file name. No. Is doc does exist on this like layer thing. This like is doc maybe is like the key that we should be looking for. Ooh, pointer enter event. Yeah. So they have special rules about how this thing fucking behaves on if a thing is a doc. Yeah. Is special window? Maybe. Is movable across streams. Check if it's a special window. Is resizable. He checks if it's a special window, returns false. Okay, here we go. So we know now that, like, we can't resize this guy because this guy is banning resize because it's a special window because it's flagged as a doc because he used the external KDE Wayland protocol to set his window, his surface role to panel or dock or whatever the fuck. And I think we probably don't have to go further down the rabbit hole here, right? Like, we haven't really answered the question of how it's glued to the bottom, but I don't think we have to, right? Because now we know that Kwin is doing special handling of however its window types, you know, he goes like, oh, this is a doc and I have custom behavior on this. We can be pretty confident that there's some sort of gluing behavior that is doing the same thing, right? He's like, oh, he's a doc, which means that he has to be on one of the corners, which means if somebody tries to move him, we won't allow it, type shit. So the answer to like all of these questions is mostly custom Wayland protocols into crazy shit. This pipewire thing is like very unexpected to me for the window preview. I assume window highlight is obvious as well, right? There's going to be some sort of Wayland extension for KDE specifically that asks to highlight some window based off something, right? Like plasma window management. Maybe he's going to ask for some state here of like highlighted, maybe not. All right, I'm interested enough in that one that I want to find out. So we know now that this is going to come from the task manager fucking applet in here. And we're looking for some sort of like hover thing. Let's check for the options as well. Hide other windows when hovering over previews, right? That's the thing. Hide other windows. So this is highlight windows. Is going to be used somewhere in here, which is a dbus thing. Wow. So of all of the, I'm glad we checked this one. So this is dbus API instead, LOL. So everything else that we looked at was a Wayland API, but this one just happens to be a dbus one. Which is kind of funny. Is there like a timeout on this? Or like, if you call this dbus API and then you just like never call anything else, does it get stuck? Cancel highlight windows. Yeah, that's funny. So I bet you that there's some world where you can get stuck in the highlight state and there's no way out without like manually resetting something, right? Because this looks like there's like a highlight windows dbus API where you give it an array of windows that you care about, and if the array list is null or like empty, then all windows will be shown, right? That's so funny. Neat. So I think that I wouldn't do that, just for the record. You, like, if we were to design this API, I think that you would want to do like a timeout on this thing. Maybe they do have a timeout in there and it's like just automatic. Maybe. KDE sounds like a fucking nightmare to maintain. I mean, you can tell, like, the thing that people love about KDE, I think, is that it's like so fucking configurable, right? And I think like the amount of configuration that they have like results in something that is guaranteed to be a nightmare to maintain. But also, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to do the like C++ callback hell that is what we're looking at. But I think dbus has a timeouts built in. Interesting. Interesting. I mean, dbus has timeouts for like request response, right? But I don't think that it has like, I'm talking about like a slightly different timeout, I think. Right? I'm talking about like if this is kind of like a latch state, I would think, right? This guy's going like, hey, could you highlight this thing? And then like if he just never asks for highlights to change, like then the server answers and he goes, okay, I did it. And then like 10 seconds later, he has to ask them to stop, right? And I think that that's like external to the API, if that makes sense, right? There's kind of like the yo, I'm calling a function and it might not return in time. There's like that timeout, which I would believe is built into dbus, but I would have a harder time believing that this like, hey, like after 5 seconds, reset the state back to this other thing. I would find it harder to believe that that's part of dbus. You know what I mean? Cool. But you know what? I think I'm gonna call it here. I think I'm happy with the investigation. I think I like understand what they've done. I don't know how much of this is the same as what I would want to do. We'll have to think about it. We now know that like integrating with the KWin API, like if we wanted to be compatible with KDE, we would want like use their APIs. There might be some like spec that everyone else is using, right? I think I've actually heard of like WL roots, like WL roots extensions that make it so that you work with everybody who works through, that guy. So there might be something that we want to do to look through here at some point if we want to be compatible, but more likely we'll just implement our own thing because fuck it. But we'll see. We have some clues though now, or some like directions to start thinking about. So that's cool. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what you saw, we stream most days. We aim for 12:30 to 4 o'clock Pacific time. It's 3:30 now. So if you're watching live, anywhere between 3 hours ago and half an hour from now is when you should expect to see us. We're working on this Wayland compositor, but there's a lot of stuff in the backlog. If you want to look through the YouTube, there's just a bunch of other projects in there if you want to look at them. Well, you need to screencast if you want OBS to work with it. So true. Yeah, that is something. We do need Pipewire integration at some point. So it makes sense to reuse that. Yeah, but maybe not necessarily the KDE interface to request the Pipewire start, but I think that like the Pipewire thing makes sense. And if the Pipewire thing makes sense, if it's like good enough, then like the thumbnail thing I think makes sense. I agree. Because it did seem like just based off of like the very, very quick look, it looks like they were doing something sane, right? It's like we saw that they were doing DMA buff file descriptor transfer, and so we could choose to like reuse all of. We could even just like directly forward the window state if it's cheap or something. Yeah. Okay. I should be on tomorrow. I don't know what I'll work on yet. If I can't think of something that's like streamable to work on tomorrow, then I won't. But I think that we have enough stuff to clean up that I should at least do a happy hour stream tomorrow. We'll see about main segment. But anyways, YouTube, peace. Twitch, let's find someone to raid.